"Hey, Stoic warriors," they smiled while twisting the knife. "Remember that moment? When someone you trusted looked you straight in the eye and chose to break you? Not accidentally, not carelessly, deliberately, with precision, with intent. Your whole body remembers it differently than your mind does. Your shoulders still tense when their name appears on your phone. Your stomach churns when you pass that coffee shop, that street corner, that song plays. The wound has healed, they say, but phantom pain doesn't read medical reports. Some of you are warriors fighting invisible battles in grocery store aisles, having panic attacks in bathroom stalls at work, winning Academy Awards for the performance of "I'm Fine," while your insides are screaming. You've tried everything, meditation apps that mock you with their calm voices while your mind races, self-help books that pile up like good intentions, therapy sessions where you talk in circles about the same damn hurt. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire while his most trusted general plotted against him. His own son disappointed him. His wife allegedly poisoned him slowly. Yet, in his private writings, discovered centuries later, he wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." He wasn't writing for history. He was writing to survive his own mind at night. You're about to learn what 2,000 years of human suffering crystallized into wisdom, not the Instagram quote version of Stoicism where you just don't care about anything. That's not strength, that's emotional death. Real Stoicism is different. It's about becoming so psychologically sophisticated that when someone aims for your jugular, you transform their attack into your power source. These 8 principles aren't gentle suggestions whispered over herbal tea. They're psychological warfare tactics for when life plays dirty, when people reveal their ugliest selves, when betrayal comes wrapped in familiarity, when hurt arrives wearing the face of love. Every ruler who survived assassination attempts studied these principles. Every soldier who returned from war with their sanity intact practiced them. Every person who's ever risen from absolute destruction to build an empire of inner peace has walked this exact path you're about to walk. Some of you will watch this and feel seen for the first time. Others will feel exposed, like I've read your journal. That discomfort, that's your soul recognizing truth before your ego accepts it. If you're ready to stop being emotional prey for predators disguised as people, like this video now. Subscribe, because this channel is where we forge unbreakable minds. Share this with someone drowning in their own sensitivity. And whatever you do, don't skip ahead. Each principle is a door, and they only open in sequence. Now, let's begin. Number 1. The fortress of inner sovereignty. Your mind is sacred territory. They can take everything from you. Your money, markets crash, thieves steal, economies collapse. Your reputation, lies spread faster than wildfire. Screenshots last forever. Narratives get rewritten by whoever speaks loudest. Your relationships, people leave, love dies, loyalty expires like milk left in the sun. They can even take your freedom, lock your body in a cage. But there's one territory they can never conquer unless you hand them the keys, the sacred space between your ears. Epictetus, who wore chains on his ankles as a slave, declared, "No one can hurt you without your permission. Your mind is your own." Most people live with occupied minds, foreign armies of other people's opinions marching through their thoughts, colonized by criticism, conquered by comparison. You wake up and immediately check who approved of you while you slept. You go to bed replaying conversations where you defended yourself to people who weren't even listening. When someone insults you, Watch what happens in slow motion. The words leave their mouth, just vibrations in air. They travel across space, still just sound waves. They hit your eardrum, merely physical sensation. But then, in a microsecond, you perform an act of alchemy. You transform sound into suffering. You take their noise and make it your truth. This is the power you don't realize you have. You're not a passive receiver of reality. You're an active translator. Every external event must pass through your mental customs office before it enters your inner world. You decide what gets a visa to your consciousness. A man once told Buddha, "You're a fraud," and spat at his feet. Buddha wiped his face and asked, "Is there anything else you'd like to say?" The man stormed off, confused. Buddha's students asked why he didn't react. Buddha replied, "He can deliver his anger to my door, but I don't have to sign for the package. Your mind is the last free territory in a world of influence and manipulation. Governments can't tax your thoughts. Corporations can't advertise in your inner dialogue. Your ex can't subpoena your self-worth. This is your sovereign nation, and you alone write its constitution. When you truly understand this principle, something shifts. Their words become weather. You notice them. Maybe you dress accordingly, but you don't mistake the storm outside for the climate inside. You become psychologically untouchable, not because you're numb, but because you finally understand where you end and the world begins. Number 2, emotional alchemy. Transform their poison into your power. Every emotion that burns through you is raw energy looking for direction. Anger is just passion without a project. Anxiety is creativity spinning its wheels. Heartbreak is love with nowhere to go. The Stoics understood something revolutionary. Emotions aren't your enemy. Unconscious reaction is. Seneca wrote while facing execution, "Every new thing excites the mind, but a mind that seeks truth turns from the new and seeks the old truths." He wasn't talking about nostalgia. He was revealing the secret of emotional transformation. What feels like destruction is just reconstruction waiting for an architect. Watch what happens when someone betrays you. That volcanic rage rising in your chest? That's not weakness, that's pure life force. The same energy that could destroy you could build empires if you learn to redirect it. Every dictator who ever committed atrocities did so with less emotional power than what you feel when someone you love lies to your face. A woman discovered her business partner had been embezzling for years. The betrayal was surgical, calculated, methodical, personal. Most people would have collapsed or exploded. She did neither. She took that rage and transformed it into the most successful solo venture of her life. She said, "They taught me my worth by showing me what I could survive." The alchemists spent centuries trying to turn lead into gold, never realizing the real transformation happens in the crucible of the human heart. When someone ghosts you after promising forever, that abandonment is lead, heavy, poisonous, worthless. But put it through the fire of conscious transformation, and it becomes golden self-reliance. Here's what nobody tells you about emotional alchemy. The worse the input, the more powerful the potential output. The deepest betrayals create the strongest boundaries. The cruelest rejections forge the fiercest self-love. The most public humiliations birth the most private victories. They think they're breaking you, but they're actually tempering you. Every harsh word is a hammer strike, making you harder to break. Every abandonment is removing what was weak in your foundation. Every attack is training for a battle they don't know you're preparing for. The moment you master emotional alchemy, you become dangerous in the most beautiful way. People can no longer weaponize their dysfunction against you because you've learned to transform their bullets into fuel. You don't seek conflict, but when it finds you, you know how to metabolize it into growth. Number 3. Their cruelty reveals their emptiness, not your worth. When someone deliberately hurts you, they're not telling you who you are. They're confessing who they are. Every act of cruelty is an autobiography written in someone else's blood. Every harsh word is a window into their inner poverty. Every betrayal is their soul's bankruptcy filing in public court. Marcus Aurelius wrote while plague ravaged Rome, "How much trouble he avoids, who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does, but only to what he does himself." But here's the deeper teaching. When you must look, see clearly. Their actions are their confession, not your conviction. A father tells his daughter she'll never amount to anything. She hears verdict. Truth hears a man drowning in his own failures, trying to pull others under so he won't drown alone. A partner cheats and blames you for not being enough. You hear inadequacy. Truth hears someone so empty they need multiple people to fill the void where their self-worth should be. People who are whole don't go around creating holes in others. People who are healing don't go around opening wounds. People who have peace don't go starting wars in everyone they meet. This isn't philosophy. This is physics. Empty vessels make the most noise. Broken people break people. Hurt people hurt people. But here's what they don't tell you. Healed people heal people, and you get to choose which one you become. When someone shows you cruelty, they're handing you their psychological X-rays. You can see every fracture in their character, every cancer in their conscience, every disease in their soul. They think they're exposing your weaknesses, but they're actually unveiling their own terminal illness of spirit. The cousin who constantly criticizes your choices, they're announcing their regret. The ex who says nobody will ever love you like they did, they're admitting they know they'll never find better. The parent who withdraws affection as punishment, they're revealing love was always a performance, never a truth. This isn't about feeling superior or finding comfort in their misery. It's about finally understanding that their poison was never about you. You were just the closest available vein. When you see this clearly, something miraculous happens. Their words lose weight. Their actions lose authority. Their existence loses its gravitational pull on your peace. You stop taking their dysfunction personally because you finally see it was never personal. It was just proximity. You were there, and they were bleeding internally, and they needed someone else to bleed too. Number 4. The practice of predetermined peace. Expect nothing, lose nothing. Every morning before the world touches you, practice dying to expectation. Not hope, expectation. Hope lifts you toward possibility. Expectation chains you to specific outcomes that were never promised. The Stoics called this premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. But it's not about pessimism, it's about psychological invincibility. Seneca advised, "What is quite unlooked for is more crushing in its effect, and unexpectedness adds to the weight of a disaster." This is a reason for ensuring that nothing ever takes us by surprise. Wake up knowing people will disappoint you today, not because they're evil, but because they're human. Expect that someone will misunderstand your intentions. Someone will break a promise. Someone will choose themselves over you. This isn't cynicism. This is preparation for reality. When you expect nothing from others, everything becomes a gift. Their loyalty, a pleasant surprise. Their honesty, an unexpected bonus. Their presence, a temporary blessing, not a permanent guarantee. You stop living in the debt of what people owe you and start living in the wealth of what you owe yourself. A woman trained herself this way after her third friendship ended in betrayal. Every morning she'd remind herself, "Everyone in my life is temporary, including me." Not to create distance, but to create presence. When you know everyone is leaving eventually, through death, distance, or decision, you stop wasting time demanding they be different. You start treasuring them as they are, for as long as they are. The parents who criticize everything you do, expected. You stop seeking approval that was never in stock. The partner who takes you for granted, anticipated. You stop performing for applause that isn't coming. The friend who only calls when they need something, predicted. You stop feeling used because you never expected differently. This practice doesn't make you cold, it makes you free. Free from the exhaustion of surprise, free from the whiplash of disappointment, free from the prison of needing others to be what they never signed up to be. When you master predetermined peace, you become like water, flowing around obstacles instead of crashing into them. People sense this in you. They feel the strange power of someone who wants nothing from them, who enjoys them without needing them, who loves them without requiring them to be different. Number 5. The sacred pause. The space between trigger and response is your kingdom. Between what happens to you and what you do about it exists a space, microscopic, milliseconds, but in that space lives your entire freedom. Viktor Frankl discovered this in concentration camps. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. Most people have no space. Trigger and response are welded together. Someone insults them, immediate retaliation. Someone leaves them, instant desperation. Someone hurts them, automatic hatred. They live as psychological puppets, with others pulling strings they don't even know are attached. But watch what happens when you cultivate the sacred pause. Someone raises their voice, and instead of matching their volume, you lower yours. Someone accuses you falsely, and instead of defending, you stay silent. Someone tries to provoke you, and instead of reacting, you observe. In that pause, you become God of your own universe. A man's wife announced she was leaving him for his best friend. His first instinct was violence. His second was begging. But he'd been practicing the pause. He sat still for 30 seconds, the longest 30 seconds of his life. In that pause, he saw clearly. Reacting would give them power over his future too, not just his past. He simply said, "I understand," and began rebuilding his life that day. The pause isn't hesitation, it's calculation. It's not weakness, it's strategy. In that space, you run 1,000 scenarios. You see where each response leads. You choose not from emotion, but from wisdom. You respond not from wound, but from power. Every reactive person is advertising their triggers to the world. They're walking around with buttons labeled, "Push here to control me." But when you master the pause, you become unpredictable. People can't manipulate what they can't predict. They can't control what doesn't automatically react. In the pause, you ask yourself, what response would make me proud in a year? What action aligns with who I'm becoming, not who I've been? What would the strongest version of me do here? The answer is never what your first instinct suggests. The sacred pause is where you take back your remote control from everyone who's been channel surfing through your emotions. It's where you become the author of your actions instead of the victim of your reactions. It's where you finally stop being everyone else's puppet and start being your own master. Number 6. The law of selective blindness. Not everyone deserves your attention. Your attention is the most valuable currency you possess, more precious than time, more powerful than money. Yet you hand it out like free samples to anyone who demands it. Every person who angers you gets paid in attention. Every critic gets rich off your mental real estate. Every toxic person lives rent-free in the penthouse of your mind. Epictetus taught, "It's not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about those things." But here's what he didn't say directly. Sometimes the highest wisdom is refusing to form a judgment at all. Some people, some situations, some conflicts deserve the violence of your indifference. There's an ancient story of a samurai who visited a Zen master. A warrior approached and called the master a fraud. The master continued drinking tea. The warrior insulted his teachings. The master smiled and offered him tea. Frustrated, the warrior asked, "Don't you care what I think of you?" The master replied, "I don't think of you." Selective blindness isn't about denial or suppression. It's about conservation of consciousness. Every moment you spend analyzing why they hurt you is a moment stolen from building what heals you. Every hour you spend decoding their behavior is an hour you could spend encoding your future. A successful entrepreneur had a business rival who spent years spreading lies about him online, in industry meetings, everywhere possible. Friends urged him to respond, to defend, to fight back. Instead, he made a decision. This person doesn't exist in my universe. He never read the attacks, never responded to provocations, never acknowledged the rival's existence. 5 years later, the rival had exhausted himself into irrelevance, while the entrepreneur had built an empire with the energy he didn't waste on warfare. Some battles you win by fighting, others you win by refusing to acknowledge there's even a battlefield. When you practice selective blindness, you're not giving them a pass. You're giving yourself passage to peace. You're not letting them win. You're refusing to let them play. The people who trigger you the most are begging for your attention because it validates their existence. Your anger is their applause. Your hurt is their trophy. Your response is their victory. But when you look through them like glass, when you treat their words like wind, when their existence becomes background noise, that's when they realize they're performing for an empty theater. Your attention is sacred. Guard it like ancient temples guarded their treasures. Not everyone who knocks deserves entry. Not everyone who shouts deserves a response. Not everyone who exists deserves acknowledgement. Number 7. The Phoenix Protocol. Let it burn, then rise. Sometimes the only way forward is through complete destruction, not partial renovation, total demolition. The Stoics understood that some versions of you must die for others to be born. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." When they betray you so completely that your whole identity shatters, let it shatter. That identity was built on lies anyway. The lie that you needed them. The lie that their love defined your worth. The lie that you couldn't survive this exact moment you're surviving right now. The phoenix doesn't rise despite the ashes. It rises because of them. The burning isn't the tragedy, it's the transformation. Everything that could burn was meant to burn. Everything that remains is pure, essential, indestructible you. A woman lost everything in 1 year: her marriage, her job, her home, her identity as she knew it. She said later, "I tried to save pieces of my old life like grabbing belongings from a burning building. Then I realized I was supposed to burn too. Not to die, but to discover what couldn't be destroyed." When you embrace the Phoenix Protocol, you stop fearing loss because you understand it's just revelation. Every person who leaves reveals they were scaffolding, not foundation. Every opportunity that dies reveals it was a cocoon, not your final form. Every version of you that breaks reveals it was a costume, not your essence. The people who hurt you think they're destroying you, but they're actually liberating you from everything that wasn't truly you. They're doing you the violent favor of forced evolution. They're the fire that burns away everything false until only truth remains. Number 8. The ultimate fortress. You are already complete. Here's the final truth that makes you absolutely untouchable. You were born complete. Not perfect, complete. Everything you've been seeking from others already exists within you. Their approval, their love, their validation. These were never nutrients. They were just garnish on a meal that was already nourishing. Seneca declared, "Every new thing excites the mind, but a mind that seeks truth turns from the new and seeks the old truths." The oldest truth: you are enough, have always been enough, will always be enough. Not because of what you do, but because of what you are. Consciousness having a human experience. The moment you truly understand this, something shifts at the cellular level. You stop auditioning for acceptance in your own life. You stop negotiating for basic respect. You stop begging for crumbs of affection from people who should be honored to feast at your table. When someone leaves, you don't lose half of yourself, because you were never half to begin with. When someone criticizes you, it doesn't diminish your worth, because your worth isn't a democracy where others get a vote. When someone withholds love, you don't starve because you've been the source all along. A man spent decades chasing his father's approval until his father died without ever giving it. At the funeral, he realized, "I spent my whole life trying to earn something that was never for sale. My worth was never his to give or withhold. I was complete the day I was born. I just forgot." This isn't arrogance, it's accuracy. You are the sun pretending to need candlelight. You are the ocean begging for a glass of water. You are completeness itself, convinced you're broken by people who profit from your believing you need fixing. 8 ancient secrets now pulse through your veins, not theories from dusty scrolls, but living fire that transforms victims into victors. These principles terrified tyrants because they knew, once a soul discovers this power, no chain can hold it. Tomorrow arrives with its tests disguised as ordinary moments: the colleague's condescension, the partner's provocation, the stranger's stupidity. But you're different now. You've crossed a threshold that can't be uncrossed. Where you once saw attacks, you now see opportunities. Where you once felt wounds, you now forge wisdom. Here's what the broken don't understand. Their attempts to disturb your peace are really invitations to demonstrate your power. Every harsh word they speak writes another chapter in your victory story. Every trap they set becomes the stage for your transformation. The permission slip you've been waiting for, burn it. The perfect moment to begin. It's this one. The person who needs to change for you to be free. That person is reading these words right now. Your peace was never their decision. Your power was never their gift to give. Hit like if you're ready to live unbreakable. Subscribe to join thousands reclaiming their sovereignty. Share this with someone still fighting yesterday's battles with tomorrow's fears. Drop your declaration below. Today, the uprising begins with you.